What is up, Sherdoggers? This is Tudor Leonte for Sherdog.com, and today I have the pleasure to talk with future contestant on the PFL Challenger Series, Mr. Karl Williams. Hello, Karl. Welcome on Sherdog. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. So, good day. Yes, sir.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm at like a second home in Atlanta. I live in South Carolina, but I train, America's top team out of Gwinnett, the Team Lima and Atlanta location. So, yes, sir.
How is it for you, to move from one city to another during your training camps?
It's more so it's difficult because you're not in the comfort of your own home, but I have a good situation of an old friend of mine. They have like a studio apartment, so I stay there, and that allowed me to like set up like a second home away from home. But it's nothing different than coming home to the kids and the wife and, just being able to relax like that. But I've been doing this for a while now, having to travel back and forth between South Carolina and Georgia. So it's kind of a norm, but as things keep progressing as far as like, MMA career, a little stuff changes and we have to adjust to it. But it's good. Atlanta is busy. So you get the busy city life and then you go home to South Carolina where it's nice and relaxed, so it's a good thing.
Well, the most important thing I believe is it for you, to have the ideal condition for a training camp. So how is it, how is your preparation going for your fight on the February the 18th?
It's going great. I think it's a short camp, but I think it's one of my best camps. Just allowing, being able to have a lot of bodies to spar with. I've been going to different gyms and sparring like bigger people. Warren Thompson and Terrence Hodges. I've been having those like big strikers to work with, and they've been in the MMA game for a long time. And then even having like a few local guys that are high-end jiu-jitsu guys to roll with. So it's been a good one. So I can't complain. I wish it was a little bit longer, but look, when people call, you answer. No matter what it is, you just go. So that was it. I was already So yeah, it's been a good camp. I cannot complain. I mean, coaching has been great. Coaching is always great. That's why I'm where I'm at now. So everything has been wonderful. Yes, sir.
Well, then let's talk a little bit about your call to the PFL Challenger Series, for the opportunity to secure a contract and a place in the PFL regular season. You told me that it was a sort of, short notice. What were you doing and how did they tell you, that you had this opportunity coming?
It's crazy. I was actually getting ready to fight in Russia. I was supposed to fight an MMA fight in February 26th. I was waiting for the contract, waiting for like hear back on stuff. So I was waiting. I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, but I need to fight in February. I always want to fight like a lot, like 6 times. Last year I fell short by 2 fights, but I was like, I need to fight. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? And my coach, Jukal, he had something bare knuckle boxing going on in Russia, February 26th. I was like, well, I was supposed to fight the 26th. If I got the MMA fight, might as well do the bare knuckle boxing. That way I could at least get in the ring and start competing for the year. So that was a long process. You had to like do different stuff to get the fight. You have to like build yourself up to like the hype for them to sign you. So I did all of that. I got the fight, but they never sent the contract or anything. So Coach Jukal, he called me. He was like, hey, I have bad news and I have good news. And I was like, okay. And fight news is always like somebody got hurt or something happened. So you're like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, I want to fight February. And he was like, I got good news, bad news. Which one do you want? I was like, everybody else, me first said, give me the bad news first. So he's like, well, you're not going to Russia tomorrow. I'm like, crap. Okay. So I got to find a fight. He was like, well, the good news is, the PFL called and you'll be fighting that. I'm like, this is so much better. I was so excited. It was like so much better because it's MMA, which I don't mind the bare knuckle, but to say active, but it's MMA and it's with the PFL, like what forget the bad news. It's just great news, you know. So it was exciting. So switched over from like still jujitsu and different stuff and grappling, but switched over from like mostly trying to focus on the boxing to then have to focus on like MMA, which I love. So that's how it came about. And then just, you know, now we're just rolling with the process.
You are taking on Simeon Powell on February the 18th on the inaugural event on the PFL Challenger Series. You just told me that you focus for a little bit just on boxing. Can we expect a knockout from you?
Yeah, only thing I say, expect a good fight, you know. So everybody, you know, everybody wants to knock out, but he made it to the series for a reason. So it's not gonna come easy. I know my coaches keep telling me I have power in my hands, so hopefully I get to display it. But biggest thing is getting a W and then proceeding to giving them a good show. First of all, giving them a good show, making everybody happy, and then, you know, get the W and keep progressing in the series.
If you make it to the regular season, do you think, and considering what you just told me that you would like to compete 6 times this year, do you think that, you know, knowing in advance that you have to fight at least 4 times, you know, if you make it to the regular season, would help you with your routine and even with your weight cutting?
Definitely. Biggest thing I like to have like dates on the calendar so I know what I'm working forward to. You know, if I don't have a contract or if I don't have stuff, I still work, but with me having to travel, like I said, back and forth, certain things, like childcare or, you know, while I'm not at home, we have to, you know, maneuver that. So being able to have those dates set and like, you know, you're fighting on this date, it could make life a ton easier just by having those set instead of like you have something like, even like I said, the one days, like you have that date in your mind and then like I'm down here, you know, training, then that doesn't come through. And then you still have to then, you know, have home stuff you have to take care of. At least you have that date, you know, his thing, and you have those dates set. You can't ask for anything more. Like great setup, great system. Like you cannot go wrong. And then you can't pick and choose. So like, you know, they have alternates. So if something happened to an opponent, you know, they have somebody to fill in. So, you know, if you stay healthy and you do what you're supposed to do, you know, on that date, you're going to be fighting somebody. So that's the best thing for me.
I noticing that you made your pro debut in 2021, so last year in February, more or less in this time last year, and you have been around the sport for, you know, a couple of years since 2019. Can you please tell us, you know, your path that brought you to MMA first and then to professional MMA?
MMA, I was getting back in shape and I was thinking about like competing in the Olympics for wrestling because I've tried for track and I was like, okay, let me get in shape and see if I can, you know, try for the Virgin Islands, see if I can try to maneuver that. And then one of my teammates, Cody Durden, we wrestled in high school together. I called him. I'm like, hey, what gym are you working out at? He told me America's Top Team. And I went over there and started training, and then wrestling kind of went out the window, but you still train wrestling. So it kind of went out the window. And then like MMA came about. So that's what started the MMA career rolling.
You mentioning Cody Durden, the Bellator fighter, or no, the UFC fighter, sorry, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we wrestled in high school together. Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay. So have you watched the previous seasons of PFL?
I can't say I watched the full seasons though. I've seen highlights and certain fights, but like a few. I was looking at there because I focus on the weight class. So I forget. I don't want to mess the name up. Brian, he does the broadcasting now, but I saw like almost a year ago or so when he had to like come back, like he retired and then had to come back for the season, or did not have to, but he came back for the season. So I watched that journey and like the different fights that he had, because I normally looked at as I'm building up in my career, I'm looking at the other people who are at the top and in the middle, or just the whole like MMA structure, like all the different promotions, looking at these persons, like studying different people's fights and just keeping aware, like hopefully soon, you know, PFL came quick, but hopefully soon I'll be able to like fight these people, and you have to, you know, be ready and know what you're, you know, going up against. So I did look at the PFL stuff from before, but not the whole just every weight class, every season. And then everybody has to follow Kayla Harris, you know, or Harrison. I don't want to mess her name, but yes.
Yeah, she is a phenom. She's a phenom for real. And is there, I mean, if you had the chance to look at the roster, at the light heavyweight roster, is there anyone in particular whom you would like to face in case you make it to the regular season?
They haven't posted the roster for this year, so I can't say like who in there. I know who's in the Challenge Series, but I'm not sure who's in the actual roster for the year. So, and I'm still not 100% on how the series works.
In addition to winning your next fight, you will also have to make a good impression on the PFL judges, on the PFL jury, and also on the audience. What can fans expect from you?
A good fight. Most of my fights, they'll go the distance. They have exciting moments, and they'll. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's back. But I haven't asked anybody how they look at my fights or their opinion on them, so I can't really say. But I think it's exciting fights. Most of them, you get the big slams, you get the punches, you know, you get wrestling, you get the throws. So all around, I think you get what you expect from MMA. So hopefully I do enough, you know, to win like you said, win the judges, win over the crowd, get the W, you know. So yeah, exciting. Hopefully not long, but they normally go long unless I mess something up. But yeah.
Do you have a message for your future opponent?
Let's put on a show. That's it. Let's put on a good show. You know, bring. I doubt he's not going to bring it, but bring your A game, and let's give the crowd what they asked for.
Karl,
we're
please.
knocking it off. So, oh no, I said we're the first, the light heavyweight division. We're the first one in the series in the weight for all the weight classes. So, and let's knock this show off. All the light heavyweights. Let's put on a good show, set everything off right. You know, get the momentum going in the right direction.
Karl, it was a great pleasure to talk with you today. Before let's go, do you have any last message?
Tune in, PFL, fuboTV, you know, and then thank you to all my training partners and coaches and everybody that made this possible. So, and thank you for having me. So, yes, sir.
Karl, thank you again for your time today. Best of luck with your upcoming fight, and hopefully I'll hear again from you in the future.
Yes, sir. Hopefully. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.